Okay, this is a pretty good depreciation. Probably didn't expect to see one like this on any exam, the CPA exam, my exam. So let's get to facts. They purchased a delivery van for $52,000. At the end of its 5-year service life, it will be worth approximately $1,000. They expect to drive 5,000 miles, and they expect it to have a 5-year service life. Okay, so it's going to ask us to do all of the depreciations. So straight line depreciation, we're going to take 52,000 historical cost minus the residual value, divide by 5, and when we come up with we come up with 10,000. I can't write the number, but I can tell you $10,200 per year. So year 1, 10,200, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, etc., etc., etc. Okay, next, sum of the year's digits. Also based on the same 51,000, because we're looking at the depreciable rate, but now we're using sum of the year's digits. It's a 5-year asset. So remember, to find the sum of the year's digits, you can add up 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. You can add them all up if you like. I don't have that many fingers. Or you can simply take 5, multiply it by 6, divide by 2, come up with 15. So when you're doing sum of the year's digits, you take the sum of the years as the denominator, and how many years you have left at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of year 1, we have 5 years left. At the beginning of year 2, we have 4 years left. At the beginning of year 3, we have 3 years left. At the beginning of year 2, we have 2 years left. And at the beginning of year 1, we have 1 year left. We multiply 51,000. By 5 15ths, 4 15ths, 3 15ths, 2 15ths, and we come up with 17,000, 13,600, 10,200, 6,800, and 3,400. So just bring those over: 17,000, 13,600, 10,200, 6,800, 3,400. Add that all up, it should come to 51,000, and it does. You can also add up all of the numerators to make sure it adds up to 15. Okay, next it says, what about double declining balance? Well, double declining balance, it's based on the straight line rate. So the straight line rate is 1/5 or 20%. So we take 1, divide by 5, come up with 20%. And the straight line rate is then multiplied by 2, because it's book value at the beginning of the year times the straight line rate times the accelerator or the factor. That's the formula that you need. Okay? Book value times straight line rate times the accelerator or the factor. So, now remember, with the declining balance method, you don't consider the residual value until the end. That's when you stop doing it, not at the beginning. So we have 52,000, the rate at the beginning of the year. It's the book value times the straight line rate, which is 20%, times the factor, the accelerator, 2, because it's double. And 40% of 52,000 is 20,000. $2,800. We now subtract that from the $52,000 to find the book value at the beginning of year 2, and we find that the book value at the beginning of year 2 is $31,200 times 20% times 2, and when we do that, we find that our depreciation for year 2 is $12,480. We take 52,000, subtract 2,800, subtract 12,480, and we come up with a book value of $18,720 at the beginning of the third year. Times 40%, and that comes up to $74,88. We add those all together, subtract from the 18,720, and we end up with 11,232 times 40%, and that gives us, for the third year, we have what does that work out? 40% of that is like $4,493. We subtract all of those, and we come up with a book value for the last year of, subtract 44 from that. That'd be the easiest way to do it, and that gives us $67.39. But we want to end up at 1,000, so we can't just do 40% of that. So we just take 1,000 from that, 57.39, and that gives us the declining balance for the end. And at the end, our depreciation totals $51,000 because we didn't take 40% this time. We just subtracted whatever the base is and added it. And that's what we took for depreciation. Now the last one is using miles, and we do this the same way. They tell us we paid $52,000, it's going to be worth $1,000 at the end. But now, instead of defining its life in years, we define its life in miles, and that works out to 34 cents a mile. And you will just take each of these and multiply by 34 cents. And when you do the math, you come up with 9180, 9860, 10,200, 8,500. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can take the 34 cents times 26,000 miles, and that'll give you 88.40. But that doesn't add up to 51,000. Let's see what that adds up to. Plus 9180 plus 9860 plus 10,200 plus 8,500. That only comes up to 46,580, okay? And then our 8840 for our last year. No, sorry. 46,500, 46,580. That only comes up to 55. The hell? What did I do? I had to do something wrong. That comes up to let me try that again. 9180 plus 9860 plus 10,200 plus 8500 plus 8840. Yeah, that comes to 46,580. We want it to come to 51,000. So how far short are we? 51,000 minus 46,580. We have $4,400 worth of depreciation. We could do one of two things. We could depreciate into the next year for the 4420, or we could simply make this a plug number, and that would be 13,260, and that would bring it to 51,000. So we would just add up these, subtract from 51,000, and the difference, 13,260, we take for the depreciation for 2017.